Welcome, one and all. This is the 48th episode of 7 Sunday Morning Hot Takes. The WWE is slowly crawling towards the Elimination Chamber, and I seem to have come down with a cold. So if these hot takes are snotty and gross, you know the reason why. I'm the dispatcher, and I don't really know what's going on, but let me try to tell you about it anyway. Hot take number 1. I'm really glad that Chad Gable is back, and yet somehow I still can't wait for Chad Gable to come back. I was really hoping he would come back as himself. I'm not really into the El Grande thing. I find it cartoonish, and I know that Kaiser, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Chad can all play characters with much more depth. I am intrigued to see where this goes, but it's taking for freaking ever to get there. And it's really time for the Creed brothers to get involved and give the original The Big American some backup. Hot take number 2. For a couple of years now, I've been passionate about the idea that the King and Queen of the Ring tournament should be held separately. Otherwise, the Queen tournament risks being overshadowed and feeling like an afterthought. But just this week, I thought to myself, what if all the big stipulation matches were held separately for the men and women, running roughly 6 months apart? And then I realized with WrestleMania, SummerSlam, 2 Rumbles, 2 Elimination Chambers, 2 War Games, and 2 Money in the Banks, plus a King and Queen of the Ring, you would have a special event for every month. I'll run it down quickly, and then I'll run it down again with details for added emphasis. April, WrestleMania. May, Women's War Games. June, King of the Ring. July, Women's Royal Rumble. August, SummerSlam. September, Men's Money in the Bank. October, Women's Elimination Chamber. November, Men's War Games. December, Queen of the Ring. January, Men's Royal Rumble. February, Women's Money in the Bank. March, Men's Elimination Chamber. Back to April and WrestleMania. Here's how the annual calendar of 12 PLEs could look. In April, a 2-night WrestleMania. In May, Backlash featuring the Women's War Games match. In June, Crown Jewel and the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. In July, Night of Champions featuring at least 3 title matches, but the main event is the Women's Royal Rumble. In August, a 2-night SummerSlam, and the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble will pick their opponent and main event either Night 1 or Night 2. In September, the Men's Money in the Bank. In October, Halloween Havoc or Clash at the Castle featuring the Women's Elimination Chamber. In November, Survivor Series, traditional 5-on-5 elimination matches for tag teams and women, but also the Men's War Games match. In December, give half the roster a holiday break and have the women work Evolution on Christmas Day, featuring the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. In January, the Men's Royal Rumble. February can be a Valentine's Day themed Saturday night's main event featuring the Women's Money in the Bank, because that seems appropriate. And in March, the last stop before WrestleMania, the Men's Elimination Chamber. That's every month of the year covered. Mania, SummerSlam, and 10 classic marquee events. I say spread them all out. Give us half as much, but twice as often. Each of the big stipulation matches are exciting enough to stand on their own. But watching 2 Royal Rumble matches in one evening is a bit of a chore, especially for the casual viewer. Too much of the same thing is inevitably going to have a saturation effect, but do them 6 months apart, one for the men and one for the women, and imagine the hype for both events would be roughly the same. I also think you'd get better continuity from month to month, as only half the roster is focused on the next stipulation match, while the other half can focus on cooking up their storylines. And a final point, this way you can avoid doing any of the important women's matches in Saudi. It's not worth it, and honestly, I don't think they'll mind. So now I don't just think that the King and Queen tournaments should be held separately, I think all the big gimmick matches should have their own show, their own time of the year, and their own turn in the spotlight. Hot take number 3. Last year's Elimination Chamber was loaded with star power, and it looks like this year WWE has the same plan. Randy Orton, LA Knight, and Cody Rhodes are the first 3 to qualify, so I think they'll be joined by other big names. I'm thinking Gunther and Trick Williams are the next 2 qualifiers, and then the last spot goes to Brock, Jey Uso, or one of the remaining 2 members of the Vision. On the women's side, I'm a bit disappointed that neither Lash Legend, nor Lyra, nor Ivy Nile, nor Julia will get their first opportunity in the chamber, but instead it's the 2 big names again, Rhea and Tiffany, now joined by Alexa Bliss. Like the men, it's loaded with star power and babyface heavy, so that's why I'm picking Asuka to go through next, sorry Bayley, and also Nia Jax instead of Charlotte. No idea who gets the last spot. Maybe Bianca? If there's a limited number of matches on the card, so far there's 4, and that might be all, it makes sense for the 6-person chamber matches to be stacked with talent, but the chamber itself is its own draw, and a great place to showcase rising stars and create new ones. I think the women's tag division has been so strong recently that 12 women should have been rewarded with a chamber match for the tag titles. I said it last week and I'll say it again, that would have been clever and fresh, and for the performers, exciting and well-deserved. Hot take number 4. Here's a hot take I didn't expect to see. I was really impressed with Nia Jax's in-ring work and physicality on Friday night in her tag match against Io and Rhea. I've never been a huge fan of Nia Jax, but I don't dislike her either. Instead, I've had a mild appreciation for Nia because despite her limitations, she brings something unique to the table. But Friday night was the most physical and acrobatic performance that I've seen from Nia since her match with Ronda Rousey many, many years ago. And while some spots might have been clunky or slow, she did her best to sell Io and Rhea's offensive repertoire, and the real point is, she tried. That was a real solid effort from someone who doesn't normally have that reputation, and the last spot, off the apron and through the table, looked like a hard, stiff bump. So a small round of applause, please, for Nia Jax, and I really hope she goes through to the Elimination Chamber because she deserves it after a gutsy performance and a strong return to the ring. Hot take number 5. So I guess Grayson Waller is the masked man? I know it's not the dipstick now because I saw him chasing the masked man. Honestly, I hope they never reveal who it is. And he carries on forever, interfering in matches and then running away. And then eventually the character can be played by multiple wrestlers, and we can debate if he's the original masked man or not, and then the original can come back and confront the new masked man, but then a third masked man shows up, and we can have masked man versus masked man versus masked man triple threat, where the masked man is the special guest referee, and mysterious cloaked advisors at ringside acting as valets and managers, and nobody will know who the fuck anybody is or what the fuck is going on, and then the lights will go out, and we can all speculate about who did what. I'm going to say it was Pat McAfee, and he did something stupid. Hot take number 6. Can we call this new masked man Mr. X? Dangerous Danny Davis, before he became a wrestler and joined the Hart Foundation, worked under the hood as Mr. X while also working as a referee. There's a hilarious match from Maple Leaf Gardens featuring the Honky Tonk Man trying to work as a babyface against Mr. X, and the crowd are relentlessly hostile towards the Honky Tonk Man and progressively throw their support behind the mysterious Mr. X. I'll put a link in the description to that match, just for kicks. Also just for kicks, let me tell you how my 12-year-old daughter would book the reveal for this latest masked man. Everyone comes to the ringside. Paul Heyman, The Vision, even Triple H and Cody Rhodes. And then a masked man is escorted into the ring by 12 security guards, and they give him a microphone, because of course. And he pulls his mask off, and The Rock says, "It was me all along, jabronis." And then he punches everybody, and I mean everybody. Security, Triple H, Cody Rhodes, people in the audience, everybody. So that's where we're setting the bar. Let's try to do better than that. Hot take number 7. So I guess we're not going to get a definitive answer for who attacked Jacob Fatu and just forget about that now. Drew said he didn't do it, and he seemed sincere. And while lying is a heelish thing to do, I don't know what he's protecting if his reputation is already rock bottom. Meanwhile, Cody said he didn't do it, and it's starting to seem like he was being honest too. So who the heck did attack Jacob Fatu then? Will this ever be addressed directly, or are we just going to leave it open to interpretation? My theory, the WWE creative don't know who attacked Jacob Fatu. It's a case of putting the plot before the horse, creating a mysterious situation without having a way of explaining it, and then never coming back to it. Every action has a consequence, and every consequence has a preceding action. Fatu being attacked and missing out is a consequence, but as of yet, there's an unaccounted for action. But now the consequence is all but dissipated, so who cares how it happened, right? Oh well, for what it's worth, I still think it was Cody, but we may never find out. C'est la vie. That's French for I don't give a crap. Thanks for being here. Still 2 more weeks until the Elimination Chamber, but maybe next week I can try to scratch together some predictions. See you again soon. I'm the Dispatcher. You're on the top turnbuckle. And every day is a sunset flip.